What's going on, guys? It's been ages since I've done a bit of a video. Here I've got my B4 Liberty, my Legacy, going again. A little, just do a quick little walk around of it. It's been a while since I've sort of posted anything about the car, and it's sort of at a position now where it is drivable, and it's really fun to drive. And yeah, I thought I'd sort of give you a bit of an update on it. So I'm just at Virginia at the moment, so I'm just standing at the front of Repco Virginia. So put my old wheels on and my TN coilovers in, and my front and rear support bars, so one in the boot, one in the engine bay. So I actually ended up putting in my original interior from the other Liberty, the non-turbo GX model, which has got this nice material, but the carpet, this really good plush carpets from the B4. They're actually out of a standard model Bug-Eye Directs, and they're direct bolt in. Got some bride material, wrapped the glove box and the center console there in that bride fabric, and everything like the wood grain inserts that go all up around the column is all from my old car. The wood grain wheel is from the old car that I had as well. Door cards, and yeah, pieced together, it's just a really solid build. It's comfortable. From certain angles it looks kind of yucky. I don't really have the good wheels yet. These are just the standard wheels, so they're not really wide. I'm restricted with tires because they're not a big wheel, so they're only just the factory 7-inch wide rims that are 17s. So yeah, 17s by 7, and I got some spacers on there. You can hate me in the comments. Fronts are 40 and the rears are 30 neg, and then the rims are already plus 50. Oh well, they're plus 55, so they're a real weak offset. So essentially, put my pedal pads in and my Momo wheel combo with the wood grain. We've actually got a proper fog light switch in there now. Relocated the boost gauge. Nice clean install there. And I put my dash mat on. See, the previous owner had some gauges glued to the dash, which has now left this real sticky stuff, so lucky I've already got this mat because it just covers it. I'm gonna get a different head unit which has got CarPlay, but for now that one does the job. Let's pop the bonnet. Here we go. Here's the engine bay. It's a lot to explain, but I'm not going to really go into depth. But yeah, if you know your EJ20 motors, basically this is exactly the same as a standard EJ20, just a 2-litre dual overhead. But what makes this more unique is obviously the fact that it has 2 little snails on there. But yeah, it's just undergone a whole rebuild. So the heads are the stock EJ208 heads, which they're okay, but I got all the work done. So valves, springs, buckets, but stock cams, and I've done all the vacuum lines. And then the bottom end is just an off-the-shelf STI block, so it's like a 207 block, which is semi-closed deck, which is really cool. All forged STI internals, so forged rods, piston heads, and the crank as well. And the block is just way better, best value for money. Heads and block bottom end, and then all this inlet manifold work, I did that. You guys have seen the other videos I've done on that. A lot of diagnosis, but at the moment it sort of runs and idles, and it drives nice on just the stock ECU. Whatever it's running is running. The boost gauge runs about 3.5 pound, close to 5 pound before it pulls fuel, cuts timing because it's not tuned. But it also needs to be remapped all together, because there's a high flow intake system, there's exhaust, and then there's obviously the compression from the engine, and all that is all different. The valves, there's no tolerance on the valves. They had been regrinded so many times that the bottom of the the bottom of the bucket, the little collar on the bucket was so flat, wasn't even pushing the valve down fully, so you know there's less air getting in the engine. But yeah, no, it's all fairly stock in terms of modifications. It's fairly stock, you know, stock intercooler, stock turbos, but yeah, it's just got that bottom end there, so if I do want to upgrade those things later I can, and I'm ready. So that bottom end is ready for, I think, 400 horsepower. That's horses, not kilowatts. So the motor was out, heads were off it, and then stock gearbox and drive lines and diff, and then obviously when it all got put back together I got a stage 2 clutch, so not too heavy but just enough. It'll go before the engine goes, which is really good, protects the motor. But yeah, it's not too heavy, like it's real hard on the foot, but yeah, like when it does have some power to put down, it's real good. But on a driving perspective, like just driving it normally, it sounds really nice. And I'll start it up for you. I think you've already heard it starting up, but yeah, accessories, and then the LED display that comes up as well. I've got to have the brightness low because I don't have a resistor, so I haven't wired in a resistor because I put this gauge in. I just need to wire in a resistor. So I think it's from the stock cat converters down, from both catalytic converters on the stock down pipes from the back of the turbos into one 4-inch pipe to the back of these blast pit. It just sounds like smooth. Just sounds real smooth, but it runs good. It's starting to rain now, so I'm gonna go. But yeah. Runs and idles quite well. Every now and then there's a slight misfire, but it needs to get the AFR and all that done properly. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's the Subi, and yeah, she's come a long way and she's still got a long way to go. So thanks for watching my little clip.